The CoolMitt definitely has helped me keep my numbers up.
Went from 140 maximum dips during a workout. A couple weeks later, using the CoolMitt approach, 600 dips.
Before dedicating 10 to 12 weeks replicating one of these studies for you, I decided to put CoolMitt to the test in 3 different environments. A 10-mile run with 2 runners, a bench press test, and bring it right into the sauna to see if it can handle the heat. I recruited my brother Matt and my cousin David, one who's crazy enough to have run 100 miles at one try, to see how they could tolerate a 10-mile run and the impact of the CoolMitt. My brother and cousin are on a 10-mile run from Ocean City, New Jersey, over the bridge into Sea Isle, New Jersey. I'm going to meet them about 6 miles into the run, test out the CoolMitt, and see if it makes an impact on their performance and recovery. At the 6-mile mark, I met them both. Matt, my brother, got the CoolMitt for 2 minutes. David took the 2-minute rest without the CoolMitt. Recovery station set up, ready to go. And then you can see the ice reservoir here with the copper tubing. Coming into the CoolMitt. If CoolMitt works, we should see some sort of a change in the next mile at minimum for Matt compared to David. Over the next mile, Matt had improved pacing, a reduction in his heart rate, and CoolMitt clearly affected his core temperature because he had to remove his shirt because of some chafing. Post-race, both Matt and David had CoolMitt for a 2 to 3 minute recovery period. Matt, my brother, said his soreness was less than usual and his recovery was quicker by about 24 hours. David, who's more of an avid runner and has worked higher mileage, said that his 10-mile recovery was improved by about a day and his soreness level went from about a 7 out of 10 to a 5 out of 10. Taking all of this information into account, we're gonna call the running study a win for the CoolMitt. Let's move to segment 2 and examine the bench press. Since the claim on CoolMitt's website is so outrageous as it relates to strength training, I figured we'd give it a test. I used 155 pounds, which is about 75% of my 1RM or 70 to 75% of my body weight. Before I show you my test run, let's take a look at the results of strength training on CoolMitt's website. They looked at an NFL tight end with a baseline bench press of 5 sets of 225 for a total of 51 reps. After 3 weeks of cooling, he increased to 60 reps, or plus 17.6%. Then he did no cooling for 3 weeks, stayed at 60 to 61 reps with negligible gains. Then he cooled again for another few weeks and increased to 67 for a total increase of 31.4%. Did it live up to our expectations? Let's check it out. I took 2 weeks off completely from my normal weight training so that I would have a higher likelihood of experiencing soreness from training, whether I used CoolMitt or not. In my prior 6 months, most of my weight training had been in the 4 to 6 rep range. I'm going to work in the 8 to 12 rep range for this study to increase the likelihood that I'll experience delayed onset muscle soreness, or DOMS. I'm hoping this will give me a better idea if CoolMitt helps in the recovery process by reducing the recovery time. Soreness and recovery will be affected by the intensity and the volume, so increasing these reps from 4 to 6 to the 8 to 12 range should do the trick. Take a look at my baseline lift. I did 155 pounds, which is about my 10 repetition maximum at the time, for 3 sets of 10, 9, and 7. I standardized my rest break at 3 minutes between each set, and I did a total of 26 reps. There was no CoolMitt use at any stage in the process. Unsurprisingly, I was wrecked in my recovery. The week without the CoolMitt, the soreness was as high as 5 to 6 out of 10 and lasted a total of 90 hours. I waited 7 days to ensure that I returned to baseline to do the CoolMitt test. I made sure to control for as many variables as possible. My session took place on the same day at the same time, 6 a.m., which is pretty much the only time I have to exercise. I fired up the CoolMitt. I did the same exact routine with the same exact warm-up. This day, I was able to do 155 pounds for 3 sets of 10, 10, and 8 for 28 total reps, a rep increase of 7.6%. Not a crazy increase, but with the CoolMitt, surprisingly, soreness was gone, and I mean completely gone by 48 hours. And at its worst, in those 48 hours, it was a 4 out of 10 max. Could this have been a training effect from the prior week? Maybe, but definitely worth a deeper dive on CoolMitt. We're gonna call the bench press a win for now, so let's move on to segment 3. Since the CoolMitt claims to keep the blood from getting too hot, I figured what better way to test it than to bring it right into the sauna. Saunas are known for their ability to relax muscles and aid in recovery, so let's see if CoolMitt can make a difference in that process. I came into the sauna study essentially non-adjusted because I haven't used it for about 2 months leading up. I thought this would be a good way to test the effect of CoolMitt because I'm essentially not heat acclimatized. Test day 1 was with the sauna and no CoolMitt. I got my temperature in the sauna to about 60 degrees Celsius or 140 degrees Fahrenheit and lasted about 10 minutes until I got to about a 7 or 8 out of 10 in the heat discomfort index, or what I'd call very uncomfortable. Now, my sauna can get a little bit hotter to 160 or 170 degrees Fahrenheit. It just takes about an hour and a half, and that's not always working out with my life. I could tell that I was definitely not heat acclimatized because I normally can go 15 to 20 minutes at 160 degrees Fahrenheit, and that did not happen today. If we take a look at my vital signs, I was at 120 beats per minute when it comes to heart rate, and my respiration rate or breaths per minute was 12 at the 10-minute mark. I took another week off to minimize the effects of heat acclimatization and jumped back in the sauna, this time using the CoolMitt throughout the session.
CoolMitt does not seem to be having any trouble in the sauna. Going strong. You just press that little button there. You can see how much battery power is left. You give it a charge and it'll zip back up to 100.
Went sauna today, CoolMitt, 10 minutes in, heart rate only 84 compared to almost 120 without the CoolMitt at 10 minutes, same temperature. And I did 5 more minutes, heart rate up to about 96, about to take the heart rate again with 5 minutes back in CoolMitt.
All right, we're at 15 minutes. It just doesn't feel like my core is at a temperature that's as elevated as it was without the CoolMitt. Definitely sweating profusely, but there's something going on here. It's pretty interesting.
As you can see, the CoolMitt definitely made an impact on my heart rate, a little bit on my respiration rate. So there's definitely something going on. Was I a little bit more acclimatized from the prior week session? Possibly, but more importantly, there's definitely some sort of a change happening, at least in my anecdotal case study for this video. I have to say, after testing it in these different environments, I didn't think the CoolMitt would do that much, but it definitely warrants further examination. I'm going to take it on a test to try to replicate some of their results from the website and see what it can do to my capacity for push-ups and horse stance. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss that video. In the meantime, keep it moving.